Good afternoon. Afternoon, everybody. Hope you're okay. Paul, how you doing, mate? Nick, Lamb, how's everybody doing? Happy Friday, happy weekend. Hope your trading's going well. Hope your trading's going better than mine. First and foremost, I think my trading this month has been the worst in a long time I can remember. So unfortunately, that first 200k I've done live has been failed, but I'm gonna buy a new one, and I don't know whether I'm gonna start on Monday. I think what I want to do is probably wait a little bit of time until I feel a little bit more connection with the market, like how the market's moved. Because if you know the past, really since we've got to roughly this stage, for me and my personal trading strategy, it hasn't really been great. There's been a lot of choppy market conditions. The only good thing to come out of it is I added a new trade to my fake out strategy that worked out pretty well. However, that's by the by. So this SPX, we'll go into it. Let's get straight into it. How's everybody's trading going, by the way? Is anybody making money? Are people losing money? Are people maintaining their discipline? How's everybody's trading going? So this SPX, as I did talk about on Wednesday, that was a great little trade. That happened on Monday when I was in bed, suffering from the flu jab or the COVID jab, sorry. Now I have to be honest, I don't particularly like the SPX right now. To be completely honest with you, I don't like this price action. I know we've broken all-time highs, and all the news is about SPX is all new all-time highs. But for me, what my probable bias is maybe we're getting that impulse again, loss of momentum, possible hard reset before moving forward. That's what I would like to happen. That's what I want to happen. I just don't think that this price action is giving me confidence that this market is going to continue just to thrust to the upside. Certainly not on the 4-hour chart. Nothing makes Yeah, you're right, Lam. Nothing does make sense right now. It's been very difficult, even for me. Not that I'm saying the be all and end all, but it has been my most difficult month for the longest I can remember, and that's genuinely serious. The longest I can remember. But the good thing is, the bad months make the good months better, right? Anyway, yeah. So with this SPX, that kind of favorite context I have within this index is impulse, loss of momentum, hard reset. The reason why I want that to happen, the reason why I'd like that to happen, because I think, it just provides that little bit of fluidity like we did get previously, when we get harder resets, such as this, this impulse, loss of momentum, harder reset. And if we can get something like that, that for me means that, we could potentially be getting a good uptrending move, or a sustained uptrending move for quite some time, which I think we are due. And this, let me tell you, this is where you make your money. Not this. Certainly not. This, etc. And not this either. I mean, yeah, you would have made money buying this hammer here, and I probably would have bought that if I was looking at the markets. However, I'm just not so confident in the SPX pushing. For me, it needed to have some sort of reload, a proper retest at this area, and I just don't like it. I just don't like it. The daily looks a bit better. The daily doesn't look as bad. We're getting our V reversal here. It doesn't look as bad on this daily. So if it wants to push on this time frame, then that's okay. But again, I don't really want that to happen. I'd rather have a harder reset, to be honest with you. Also, before I go, by the way, what I forgot to say was this month in my morning stream was great, because we announced our first $50,000 FTMO winner. So one of the members has received that this morning. That's the first one we've ever given away. The website's obviously very new. And he'll probably start that next week. So that's what I'm intending to do with this website is give back. Give back to people that I feel deserve it. And hopefully as we grow, I'll not only be able to give away a 50 grand, but 100 grand or 200 grand, etc., and kind of build that up. So hopefully, changing people's potential financial, situation by first they have to know how to trade first. I don't give away accounts to people that I know cannot trade or are completely new. But potentially helping some people out or some of the members out to get those challenges and potentially pass those challenges is great. So it makes me feel quite happy doing that. And our first winner, excuse me, someone's at the door. First winner was announced tonight, this morning. So well done to that winner, David Kitson. Okay, going back to the charts. This dollar, right? Looking at it from a daily perspective, right? As we've talked about recently, it has changed trend. You have to say it's changed trend, and it's still it's still in this corrective mode, and I think this continues. The gap is still there. I'm not saying the dollar is going to be weak. I'm not saying selling the dollar, but you might get some choppy price action. I'm not calling dollar weakness. I'm just calling a dollar corrective. My bias is still, we let that 20 catch up, possibly correct back to around that 40-60 box before continuation to the upside in the dollar. That's what I personally feel. I know you could say on this 4 hour that, okay, maybe we've got a harder reset there. But this whole structure, again, just doesn't seem like it wants to move. It had kind of inclinations here and here, a nice hammer, push through, again, rejection of that support zone. Looks like it was pushing through. And this is indicative of the markets that we've had, right? There's no follow through, right? There's no, we've had that harder reset. So, in fluid markets, maybe this continues. We've had another rejection. So possibly an ABC 1-2. Another rejection and push on volume. And it's just lacking that follow through, which is what we've seen for quite some time. My bias for this dollar is it looks to be in, roughly this kind of corrective channel. I think just breaking out now. I do see a little bit of a fall down in the dollar intraday. That does not mean it's going to be dollar weakness. As I said, it's just in corrective mode. And I would just be wary of certainly buying the dollar right now if I had my bias and you've got a setup against it intraday on the smaller time frames. That wouldn't mind. That would make sense to me. But for me, we're still in corrective for that dollar in terms of trend continuation. Now the main one for me today is US oil. WTI looks okay to the upside. Oh, that's not oil. On this chart here, but again, just like, I hadn't checked the charts for about 2 hours, but just like every kind of market recently, this is kind of falling off. So I was looking at this just to give you an indication of what I was looking for. The setup was coming on this chart, on this 30-minute, right, from this harder corrective. Right, B wave again is what I consider quite a key level, breaks of a level, because if you consider the ABC corrective and why I really like it is if we have A, B, and C here. If you think about simple Dow theory, right, you've probably, and this is coming from an uptrending market, you probably got sellers coming in at this level thinking, okay, we've not breached these highs. It's now a lower high, therefore we're changing trend. Right, so we've got a lower high here. So you've probably got selling pressure coming in, and where's their stops going to be? It'll be above B wave here. So that's when you see, decent breaks, not recently, obviously because of the market, but you do see some decent breaks on these breaks of B wave, if it does indeed break through. And that's why I like it. That's why I like that B wave. I like to, sounds bad, but I like to see other people getting stopped out as long as I'm going in the right direction. I saw something online that said that, this type of corrective is better than this type of corrective. I completely disagree with that. You think about, again, stop locations as well. You've got buyers coming in at A wave thinking, right, we're going to go long from an uptrend, right? And how often do we see manipulation? Does it happen? My personal opinion, definitely. Come down to those stop locations before moving forward. So personally, I think the ABC is so powerful, and it can be, it's used. I use it a lot in my trading, That doesn't mean it's simple, it is simplistic, but there's kind of an intricate details behind it and why I like it. And it just shows you it works time and time. I can show you so many examples of that ABC working. And again, the thing I like to see is stops taken out. I do like to see it happen so much. So let's try and get on the right side of it and help it with the trading. Anyway, with this oil, this was a nice setup. It looked to be a cup with handle correcting. It needed to push through at that point in time to retest to go to the upside. The only qualms I had with it was this daily chart hammer here. However, we did get another bullish hammer immediately preceding it or immediately following it. So it kind of twisted my arm a little bit, saying if we do get a setup, okay, we've had this hammer, but we've also had this preceding hammer, and sellers are not taking control. So sellers weren't taking control when I was looking at it. They still aren't, right? They still aren't, but the setup is kind of gone from there. US, on the 4-hour chart looked nice. This is a trend trader's paradise. Look at that chart. Just, really nice. And I think commodities have probably been easier to trade this month. So, I mean, certainly oil has probably been the best of the bunch, really, than individual currency pairs. But maybe we get now, if it wants to fall down, a harder reset again. My ABC for continuation to the upside. But, that was the one that I thought maybe we get that today. I think for me, it's a Friday. I don't normally get a lot of setups on a Friday. I think with the week in the past 2 weeks, it's just get away from the charts, go and potentially learn, go and back test, go and do some possible trade reviews, and come back on Monday, and hopefully that market is starting. It can't stay like this forever, right? It can't. It never has. So don't worry if you're thinking this is never going to end. It always ends, right? And once it ends, that's when you're going to build up, the money that you've lost very quickly. And it's just maintaining that composure, maintaining that discipline. And if you do that, right, you're not going to be in that 95%. And that's just what we don't want to do. So if I end up losing, let's say I end up losing 10% this month, right, I can get that back. I can get that back in 2 trades. And also saying that, if I'd taken and if I hadn't missed this USD CAD here, which was this is indicative of when you're having a bit of a tough time, there's things that you miss that ended up probably being the best trade of your month, right? So me missing this trade probably cost me about 5%, right? Just missing this simple trade that went on, a lot, and that's it. And in those good months, those things will go for you. You have two of these, and you've taken away, 4 or 5 trades, and that's how quickly these things can change. So I know for me personally, being down 10% is very, it's uncommon for me. I'm happy to put that out there because, this is the first month I'm streaming. People might say, well, bullshit. But, I'm happy to put that out there and knowing that I'll come back through. So, yeah, it's just really, it's a month for staying patient. And if you do that, you'll be better than 95% of traders, I think, who will, during these times, most likely maybe blow accounts, maybe take too many trades, and being smarter than that and possibly taking a step back, not trading as much, will definitely help you out. So the final one I'm looking at today is this AUD NZD. Big V reversal here on the daily. In a nice corrective at the moment. We've got that 200 underneath price action. It needs to show its hand a little bit to come back up for a reload to take that breakout on AUD NZD long. So that's all I'm looking at today, guys. I'm not going to go on too much. I'm hoping that this is probably the worst it's going to be. And next week or potentially the week after, we start to make some money. And as I said, these conditions, so Lamb, don't worry. There's times when every trader is disconnected from the markets, right? There's times where everyone doesn't feel any connection and thinking this is going wrong, this is going wrong. But then there's times where you're so in tune with it as well. And that's just going to be, that's the industry we're in. No matter how long you've been in it, how experienced you are, there will be times when you're disconnected and don't feel like you understand any kind of movement that's going on. and the safest thing to do is just kind of take a step back and let things play out. So as I hope for in this SPX is what I mainly look for, is we get that harder reset, and I do hope that happens, just to make that a bit healthier. And then I think, okay, we wanted it back here, we kind of got it, but we didn't get the price action preceding it that we wanted to, but possibly if we get that from here, yeah, I would like that. So let's see. All right, guys, it's a Friday. I am done for the week. I'm editing a YouTube video, the interview with the 50 grand winner, which should be put up in the next few hours. So come guys, watch it. Again, if you're watching this and you're not on the website, this is not a plug. You can watch the streams for free, etc. But if you do feel like you're in the point where you could potentially be good enough to get a funded account, that's what, really the main ethos. We're an educational platform to teach people. But if you feel it good enough, have a look at the website. It's 7 days, free trial, no credit card. Have a look at the platform and see if you like it. And maybe one day you get a 50 grand funded. Let's hope so. All right, everyone, have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Trade safe. Peace.